Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of F1 2014 career mode here on the channel, fresh off of another podium but still short of a race victory. We are nearly 100 points behind our teammate of Lewis Hamilton heading into the Hungarian Grand Prix, round 11 already in the halfway section of the season. Can we finally get win number 1 today? It is pouring rain here in Hungary, which makes my confidence really bad because I have always been really bad in this game, specifically when it rains. So I'm not really expecting very much of a promising qualifying effort here. I mean, never say never, but there goes Hamilton starting to take off in the, I guess not the sunset now, as oh my goodness, yeah, this car is already a handful. It's really just about trying to hang on there, keep that gap, of course, to a minimum between myself and Lewis, but it's just not going to be a good lap. I'm so bad when it comes to rain conditions in this game. Just a couple corners remain. Hamilton's already rounding the final turn here as we exit the penultimate corner. We're going to be probably like dead last, honestly. It's that far off here, and I haven't even run a bad lap. I've kept the car on track, hit my marks, but it's just the AI are so, you know, deadly quick here in the rain compared to what I'm able to do. And yeah, I mean, we're dead last. I mean, no chance of winning this one because we're going to have to be driving through the field. It doesn't matter. I ran a solid lap. It's just the AI are just downright better when it comes to the rain conditions. Let's hope it's dry in the Grand Prix. We're ready to roll here from Hungary. Fortunately, as you can see, it's not raining, so this gives us a fighting chance. I mean, honestly, if we get through turn 1 well enough, never say never, but there could be a chance here. I remember in Hungary, F1 2013, we had a chance to win. We threw it all away. Hungary hasn't treated us well in the past, but let's see how it treats us in F1 2014. Could it maybe turn into a bit of a good luck charm? We're going to find out as we're lights out, of course, racing down towards turn 1. Max Chilton's going to go quite defensive, but he's not going to go defensive quite enough. Now I'm able to slip up the inside. We're going to be behind Esteban Gutierrez here as we exit this first corner. Try to get on that gas hard. We get through only into P18 as Kamui Kobayashi there just in front of myself. Kobayashi doing the NASCAR Cup Series race this weekend, actually, at Circuit of the Americas. Very excited to watch how he performs in what will be his second start in the Cup Series, of course, since last season, but a good start for us as well as we continue behind Mr. Gutierrez. I'm going to see if I can maybe lunge one right here around the outside, as this is such a fun racetrack to drive. It's not the greatest for actual, you know, wheel-to-wheel, side-by-side racing. It's really not that good. It's kind of like a Monaco. It's really difficult to pass here in real life, but I personally love actually driving the layout of the circuit. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes maybe not, because there goes that. We'll lose the position to Gutierrez now, and we'll have to fight back, but we're going to be able to be close enough to dive one up the inside right here. And we got a Ferrari back here as well. Kimi Räikkönen down in the 12th position, so not exactly the start that he is certainly looking for, but there's pace in the car. We just kind of need to be patient and let this thing come to us now. Do I send one up the inside? Oh, that was so stupid of myself. I am so sorry, Adrian Sutil, as we'll go past him. That was a really aggressive and silly move that at least puts us through into P13, but we cannot do that again. I've run down Räikkönen, but now the question is, where's the passing opportunity? That's the corner I need to be aware of. That's where the back end seems to want to kick out, is on the exit of that chicane. But through here, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Oh goodness, it doesn't really matter a whole lot how much quicker you are. You're just kind of forced to ride there unless you have an extreme pace advantage there. Got to be careful on the track limits. Hamilton as well lost the lead at the start, so he's in second place. I would assume Sebastian Vettel out in front. He started in second there to start the race now as we continue to try and put some pressure on. Just by the way the car is feeling right off the bat, though, I really got a bad feeling about how the rest of this race is going to go so far, as it's really trying to slip and slide around here. But we'll get that slipstream from Räikkönen, hopefully get close enough to go for maybe an unexpected lunge. We have the pace advantage. Here we go, and we'll try to show the nose. An aggressive move, not quite enough. I have another run here on Räikkönen now. I'm going to try and set him up for the right-hander. Never mind, there goes that. Oh, actually, honestly, we might still be able to send one around the outside. What a move right there. Even after going wide the corner before, we still find enough pace in it. We'll go through into P12. I'm going to go up into 4th gear here. Yeah, okay, so going into 4th gear, obviously, it's going to be a little bit slower on exit, but I think faster for us because we just have a little bit more grip there to keep that car kind of, planted as we now try to focus in on Sergio Perez, and I'm really just trying to be delicate on the throttle through these kind of sweeping S's sections now, as we are now starting to put some pressure on the back of Sergio for that 11th position. All over the back of Perez. Oh, I want to kind of make a move now, but just really don't feel like that'd be a smart decision. Instead, we know exactly where we can try to lunge one around the outside. However, I go a little bit too deep. Perez will stay ahead. That was an aggressive late move. Leave Perez the room, but he goes wide anyways. We'll move through into P11. Honestly, just kind of did that out of nowhere. I didn't really go into that corner expecting to make that move. I just kind of took the opportunity on an instant when I saw it kind of form, and that puts us now into striking distance on Valtteri Bottas for P10 passing. Even in a video game, it's difficult here. We got to get a little bit creative, and now, of course, the pace, it feels pretty good. We will be pitting shortly, lap 8, so a few more laps yet. We might try to do an overcut, especially with all the traffic that we're in. Hamilton's still down in 2nd. Honestly, as long as Hamilton's not leading and running away, there's always kind of a bit of a hope there that something can happen. I'm trying to size up Valtteri Bottas for a move in kind of the textbook location that we've been using here. Now we'll swing through the left-hander a little bit wide again, but now to the left side. Can we keep it around? Yes, we do. Oh my goodness, sliding around here. Now who's going to lift first? It's not going to be me. Valtteri backs out of it, moving us into now P10. Daniel Kvyat, you're up next on the list here. I mean, the pace is certainly not the problem. Qualifying being rain was the first problem. The second problem, the difficulty passing here in the Hungarian Grand Prix. I still think a podium could be on the cards here, but obviously no more than that, unless we get really, really lucky. I mean, safety cars are a lot more common in this game, but yet we still haven't had one, which is a bit frustrating. We could definitely use the safety car at a certain point today, maybe after the pit stop cycle kind of runs its course, but it's just, so unlikely to actually strike. I have a nice run here down towards turn 1. I mean, pretty even with Kvyat, but not good enough pace from him to be able to stay ahead of me. I just kind of did a slide job right there, NASCAR style, to go through and take the position. So we got 2 laps till we are pitting. I don't know if I'm going to try the overcut or not at this point. We'll have to just kind of wait and see at the time. But I think there's enough of a gap between myself and Hamilton where just going that 1 extra lap could help us, and then we could pit on the same lap as Lewis. And, to see, of course, the difference there. The double stack would not cost us time with the current gap between the two of us. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Oh, he's going to stay in front. Magnussen getting the elbows out saying, no, sir, you are not going to do that one on me. But hold on. We go through the right-hander. Not going to be enough. He stays ahead for now. Can I lunge one up the inside? I can't quite go for that one. That would be a really bodacious move that I really don't feel confident doing in this car. I'm really trying to get after it now. I mean, I'm seeing that Hamilton and what looks to be Vettel aren't quite driving away as much as I would have expected, and I think it's just simply because Lewis is behind the Red Bull. But now, a decent run there, and I'm going to put the fuel into Rich for a very brief moment just to try and get a little bit extra, but it's still not quite making enough of a difference, but I'm going to send it right here. We're going for the move up the inside, firing one down there, and we'll clear Magnussen before we even hit the exit of the corner now into P8. I'm doing whatever these guys don't do right here. They all box, which they are. We're staying out for an additional lap. Hamilton's going to pit at the end of the next lap as well. That's fine. We're going to just box with him. Quite simple, because he's got enough of a gap. So we cross the stripe. 10 laps to go in this race. This is going to put us up into, I think, P2. How about Magnussen's actually sticking with me here? No, there is one more car. Fernando Alonso as well out on the racetrack, it looks like. But I like this strategy. I think it's going to work, at least for passing the cars that were directly in front of us now. But now we got to make sure we hold off Kevin Magnussen for the remainder of this lap, as he's continuing to put some pressure on me as I'm starting to slip and slide just about everywhere. Everybody else making their pit stops now. Actually, it was Ricardo in second place, not Fernando Alonso. So we're going to round this corner and head into the pits now to make our pit stop. So Hamilton's pulling out, hopefully now. Yes, he is. So by the time we get into our pit box, it's going to be okay. The Red Bull of Ricardo gets out just in front of us. And look at that. We're not going to lose even an ounce of Now we are going to lose some time because we got to wait for these guys. So not exactly what we wanted, but it's still going to be okay. We're out in front of Magnussen, who's going to be a little bit closer, and we will lose just a tad bit of time because of that. There goes Alonso now. Here comes somebody else. That is Hulkenberg, but overall, we come out in front of some cars that we pitted behind, or were behind when they pitted. So up to P6, we got 9 laps of racing. I don't quite know if we're going to be able to run down Hamilton, who's appearing to now be in the lead of the Grand Prix. So I think that's really your answer of how that's going to go from here. But I mean, we put together, considering the difficulty passing here, a very solid first run of this Grand Prix, and really didn't allow Hamilton to get too far out of reach. But now that he's leading, it's a whole different story, and we just kind of have to bring it home and just see how much further forward we can go here. At least get a top 5, but definitely aim for a podium. We have run down Nico Hulkenberg very easily. Let's see, trying to get a better exit, just couldn't quite get it right there. So we already know now basically where we're going to have to go for that overtake, which is going to be, of course, after the elevation here up the hill into the left-hander, and then the sweeping right-hander is where we're going to go for the attack around the outside. Get a decent run through here, go up the hill. And I like what we're seeing as we go through the left-hander. Pretty cautious driving from me, which is going to throw every opportunity to pass him away right there. So there goes all of that. Up the inside, aggressive, very aggressive. I left him enough room. The AI, they're really weird in, I don't know if it's Singapore, Hungary, or this track, but they really like to kind of push themselves wide when you go alongside them in a corner. Of course, it was a late lunge, but there was plenty of space left there for Hulkenberg to keep it around the outside. But nonetheless, job done into P5. Fernando Alonso's 4 seconds up the road. Not exactly what I want to see, of course, in the fight to get towards the podium. We just ran the quickest lap of anybody, but obviously, getting to the top 2 cars is going to be impossible. But 4th and 3rd, definitely on the cards with the pace that we are putting up here now. Hamilton, it's kind of crazy just how good Lewis Hamilton is in this game. It's also interesting to see, maybe the difference in coding from previous F1 games to current F1 games when it comes to the AI, because you look at this era, of course, of Mercedes dominance, and I remember, or not remember, but now we see, I mean, in this era of dominance, even in the video game, Mercedes, or specifically Hamilton, because I'm the other driver who's not very good, but Hamilton is unbeatable, basically. He's won everything this season, just like you would kind of see in real life with him, just absolutely dominating everybody in 2014. However, you look at current day games with Red Bull and Max Verstappen's dominance, and you really see Codemasters and EA not replicate that really at all in the video game. And honestly, I mean, I remember my first season of F1 23, and Verstappen had a good season, but he only won a few races, only won a handful of races, which obviously is completely way far off from realism, which seemed to be more heightened in this era of F1 games. I will say, going into F1 2015 for the career mode there, quote-unquote career mode, I'm a lot more excited to get on there because we can just kind of get off this game. And the main gripe I have with this game is just the handling. That's really it. The handling is so weird. The car always trying to step out on you. But I will say, I mean, this F1 2014 career mode so far, I've enjoyed a lot more than I expected, because if I listened to what everyone else told me from, a few comments here and there in the F1 2013 series leading into this, but as well, peers just saying like F1 2014 is going to be absolutely terrible and you're going to hate it. I'm really glad that I didn't fully listen to that, because I've really not had anywhere close to as bad of a time as it sounded like I was going to have. So I've actually relatively enjoyed the time here. It's been a new challenge, a unique challenge for an F1 game, although I haven't really cared for it. It's nice to have a different kind of challenge here and there as we continue to try and reel in Fernando Alonso. 2.1 seconds a gap. We have just 2 laps to go. We're 1.3 seconds back, so 3rd is not going to happen. But 4th place, obviously, is likely going to happen as long as I don't screw up there as we go for a bit of a slide in turn number 1. We're 5.6 seconds ahead of Nico Hulkenberg, so we've really stretched out a nice, comfortable gap there. And now it's just about trying to get Fernando for that 4th position. Obviously, it's obvious the championship is not really in the cards for this game, but now we're just focused on winning at least one race. That's not going to happen today, but that's the goal going forward. Just win one race. I mean, it's pretty obvious as well. You know, Mercedes, they're not going to want us for the next game in F1 2015 unless we can just suddenly go on a absolute tear and start winning races here in this final half of the season. One lap to go in the Hungarian Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton, absolute dominance. He didn't lead all the laps for once, so that's a bit of a difference. But once he got the lead, he didn't look back. As we have gotten to the back of Fernando Alonso, can we set him up in the spot? We have set so many up today for an overtaking opportunity. Let's see. It's all about getting through this left-hander, and of course that little short right kink, we'll call it right here. And Alonso's got a good gap here, so I don't think we're going to have an opportunity to make the move exactly where we want to make the move. Absolutely no chance at all. He's going to stay comfortably ahead. So now trying to get some clean air as well for that engine, but Alonso's doing a good job staying ahead right here. I really would like to get that position. We have sat here and run him down from several seconds behind. I would prefer to not finish behind him now as we come through the sweeping S's. This is where we have been so strong all race long, but Fernando gets a solid exit right there. We'll go down back to 5th gear, let it roll. A little bit aggressive on track limits. That did us no favors as Hamilton is bringing it home through the final couple of corners. I'm not quite close enough to make a move here. Can we at least send it into this corner to get close? We can, but it's not going to be close enough. Hamilton wins in Hungary, and I just don't have enough at the end for Fernando Alonso. We're going to sweep around the final turn. 5th place is what it's going to be as we come through to cross the line. A disappointing day in Hungary. Another, good drive through the field. That's the reality, but it's qualifying, which we knew we were going to struggle in qualifying with the conditions. It's impossible to beat the AI, I feel like, in rain. It's just one of those days. And here we see the finishing order with Hamilton, Vettel, Ricciardo, your top 3, with us there in 5th place. Did anybody go out of the race? Now, Kamui Kobayashi went 1 lap down, but that was it. Let's take a look at the standings now. Hamilton, a 74-point advantage over Alonso. He's got a 3-race advantage just about. And then Vettel, myself, Ricciardo, all under a blanket there within 6 points of each other. As we as well look at the constructors, Mercedes ahead by 90 points over Ferrari, Red Bull back by 106. That's going to wrap it up for me. I believe we're in Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix in the next episode. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and have yourselves a great day.